Uh, just wanted to give a pre-market game plan going into tomorrow, and then I'll do a session recap for today. So as always, let's keep this quick, clean, and easy. Now, if you watched my pre-market game plan yesterday, I said, right, I would not be surprised if we gapped up or we had a straight up move, right? Because this was not a technical analysis breakdown, right? Straight down equals straight up. And, we saw that today. So, I mean, maybe it's just me. Like, this type of stuff gets me excited. Like, I'm very passionate about this. I love doing this. So, right, seeing this recovery, almost a 50% recovery on a Monday with like no news whatsoever going on, that's a big deal, right? We're, pretty much back at all-time highs being in play. So, just wanted to cover that, right? Let's go here. Big recovery, right? I mean, V-shape, right? Straight down equals straight up. So the one thing that I do like is there is a lot of thin volume here on the spot, right? That has to be filled, right? A lot of thin volume that has to be filled. So coming into tomorrow, right? A valid long is over the 664.55, right? A couple of confluences here. We're still intact to the upside. It's a previous day high, right? And it's a 4-hour resistance level. So a break and retest above that shows us that, okay, buyers are still likely in control and they want to push this thing higher, right? Not really looking to short, but if you are looking to short, a valid short will be under the 659.10. Why? Because you're under a daily support, now term resistance, and you're under the previous day low, right? But for me personally, I'm still not looking to short this name. So upside still in play here. This is the key level that we want to look off of for more upside tomorrow on the spot. The 664.55, right? That is a very valid long if you're looking to trade off that. Right, same thing. Beautiful, right? Today was a big day. We did not have a sell-off, more than pretty much a 50% recovery like that. Now, really like this. I mean, look at this, right? I mean, Q is still in play, right? Not that far away from all-time highs, right? Nice day today. We got a break and retest over this 599, continued higher, right? I highly recommend going to watch my live trading session video of today's session, and I kind of break all this down in real time. It's a lot of good insight there. Now, tomorrow, what do I like, right? I like a break and retest over the 602, right? Why? Couple of confluences here, right? We're still intact to the upside. We're still trending to the upside. It's a break and retest over the previous day high and over this previous all-time high, daily resistance, turn support. That's a lot of confluences, right? And once again, right, there's a lot of thin volume that has to be filled, right? Straight down equals straight up. Do be cautious. Tomorrow we do have red folder news at 9:20. I'll be long gone by then. I only trade the first hour and a half to 2 hours of market open anyway, but just be cautious, right? We do have red folder news at 9:20, but this is a valid long, right? Over the 602.87, looking for more upside continuation. Tesla, beautiful, right? Straight down, I said a lot of thin volume equals straight up. We did that today. I posted my live trade that I took and my trade recap. I took a really good shot here on Tesla. $2,000 loss, perfect trade. I would 100% take this again. Choppy price action, right, during market open, but my thesis was correct. I did a break and retest over this 423, and as you can see, we gravitated perfectly to the top of this range, right? So go check that video out. It's a lot of insight there. You'll see exactly where I entered, where I exited, and why I took that trade. But the game plan coming into today was as long as Tesla is above 410, we are not looking to short this name, right? Look at this on the daily. Look at this 410. This is a key level. Like I said yesterday, when we broke over this and we held this, we pushed all the way up to 470. Now, a couple of things I want to break down here on Tesla. Does this look like we are trending? Not at all, right? Let's just look at a naked chart. Not at all, right? We're just consolidating, right? And that was pretty much all of last week too. I said that all of last week. Besides Monday and Tuesday, Tesla really hasn't done anything, right? We're just consolidating, right? Does that look like we're trending? Not at all. Now we are holding up to the upside 100%, but we are consolidating, right? So coming into today, right? I said as long as we are above 410, I'm not looking to short this name. But this is beautiful, right? Straight down, straight up. We filled all this thin volume, right? This shows that buyers are still in control on this name. Now coming into tomorrow, right? The A plus long, it was the same game plan. All last week is over this 445, right? My live trading session last week, you saw that we did break over this, but I never got the retest. But look on these 2 days, right? As soon as we get over this 445, price is clean, right? It's chopping all in here, right? So wanted to break that down, right? The A plus long is over this 445, right? Or a pullback long off of this 423.15. Now, it's a valid long. I'm not necessarily looking to take that. The only trade that I'm looking to take on Tesla is a break and retest over this 445, right? Let's break this down a little bit more, right? All last week, what do we say? We're avoiding this channel for obvious reasons, right? Now, why, right? I mean, this is low probabilities, right? As soon as, we get over this 436.30, right? Sellers just step in, pushing this thing down, right? We can't seem to hold above it, right? Clearly, right? A lot of resistance up here, right? So I don't want to go long anywhere in here. That's a low probability environment, right? Give me one sec. So, right, sit on your hands, take the best, leave the rest, let our trades come to us, right? Now, reason this is a no trade zone, all of last week. What have we been saying? I mean, this is a channel, right? Now, I went long off the bottom of this range for different reasons, right? This was a lot of thin volume to be filled, right? This was a different setup. Now that the week has started and we filled this volume, I'm not looking to take a trade anywhere in this. Why? Because it's a channel, right? So be cautious, right? This is a name that's consolidating right now. The biggest, highest probability setup is a long over this 445, right? Coming into tomorrow, right? You can look for a scalp setup, a break and retest over this 436.30, a couple of confluences here. It'd be a break and retest over the previous day high, over 4-hour resistance, turn support, right? And you're with the overall trend, right? But, right, you are going long into a channel, right? Just wait. Let our trades come to us. Tesla will pay you very well. So we're just waiting for this 445 break to the upside. Like I said, as long as this name is above 410, I am not looking to short this name. Obviously, no trade zone here, because if we open up anywhere in here, we're literally in the middle of the previous day high and the previous day low. Dead smack in the middle of the range and on the channel, right? So just low probability environments. Let our trades come to us. So 445 is the key level to watch here on Tesla. AMD, broke this down as well. Right, coming into today, I said I'm really not looking for anything unless we break over this 227 or we get a pullback to this 203. Right, possible pullback long off this 209. 25. This is a 4-hour support level, as you can see, respected very well. But I'm not looking to short this name unless we fall under this 203. Right now, for obvious reasons, let's break this down. Right, there's nothing in here. Right, we gapped up. There's really nothing in here. Right, so what am I looking for? A break and retest over this 227. I'm targeting all-time highs. That is a very valid shot. Right, break, retest, targeting all-time highs. That's a valid shot. high probability setup, you're with the overall higher time frame context, you're with the overall trend, that's a good shot. Now, even though this is a $6.25 gap, if we fall under this 209.25, right, I'm not going to go short into a weekly level. That's just not smart, right? You can't expect it to go all the way down to the dot to 203, but let's say we get $3 away, $4 away, $2 away. You can expect buyers to step in and defend this name and push this thing higher, right? So let's zoom out here on the daily, right? This is a valid shot, right? Pull back long off this, break and retest on the weekly. That's a valid shot. Now, like I said, I also like shorts under this. Don't forget, AMD gapped up tremendously, right? This is still a $30 plus gap fill, right? This is a valid shot, right? That's a good confluence and market objective play, right? We're playing the gap fill to the downside. There's no volume in here whatsoever, right? This can be straight down. Remember, straight up, straight down. So that is a very valid play as well. Now, something I do notice, right, is, you can kind of see a little bear flag setting up here, right? For the past 3 days in a row, ever since we made all-time highs, we have just been moving lower, right? So let's let our trade come to us, right? A break and retest over 227 or a pullback long off this 203 or a break under it. So you can see my note here, just read the price action, right? If buyers step in very aggressively, take your shot. If sellers are stepping in very aggressively and we get good displacement under this, I am looking for the pullback short entry to the downside, right? NVIDIA. Now, today, I'm very happy the way NVIDIA closed because this just makes it a very easy read for us going into tomorrow. Why? We are not taking a trade off of 188.15. That was even the game plan coming into today. We are not taking a trade. I was looking for a pullback long off this 184 or a break and retest over this 191. That is still the same game plan. Now, the reason I liked how this closed is, right, no trade zone for a reason. Anywhere in between here tomorrow, we're literally in the middle of the previous day high and the previous day low. That's dead smack in the middle of the range. I am not looking to short this name as long as we are above this weekly 184.50, right? I broke that down as well. So, couple of trades, right? Still looking for this, right? We are still intact to the upside. I'll zoom out here on the daily in a minute, right? This is a very valid shot, right? Look at all this thin volume that has to get filled, right? Straight down equals straight up. Break and retest over 191, targeting all-time highs. I mean, we're not that far away anyway, so this thing is still intact to the upside. I am not looking to short this name at all, right? That's a very valid play. Or, right, I'm looking for a pullback long. It's kind of the same thing with AMD, a pullback long off this weekly level, or a break and retest under this, right, to the downside. Those are 3 clear, right, high probability setups. Now, I'll zoom out here, break down why. Let's go on the daily, right? Give me 1 sec. Look at this, right? All right here. Right? All right here. This was a key resistance level, turn support. Wicks to the damage, body tells the story. Look at every time price pushes down, we end up holding this weekly level, right? Resistance, right? Turn support. That's beautiful. That's textbook. That's exactly what we want to see. Now, coming into tomorrow, right? If we pull back here, right? This is very valid. That's a valid long, right? Targeting upside, right? That's just, continuation to the upside. That is a very valid long. Now, I broke this down last week and I said the same thing, right? If we fell under this weekly support, turn resistance, that is a lower low. That is a leg lower, right? Now we are now forming a lower low on NVIDIA. So if we get a break and retest under this weekly level, I am 100% interested in shorting that. So like I said on NVIDIA, I'm sorry, AMD, you just have to read the price action. But this dead smack in the middle of the range, right? That's perfect. I like that because now we can visually just let our trades come to us. So tomorrow on NVIDIA, right? Break and retest over this 191, targeting all-time highs, a pullback long off this weekly support level, right? Or a break and retest under that because then we would be now forming a lower low on the higher time frame, right? So let's let our trades come to us. Apple, right? Beautiful. Once again, I highly recommend you go watch the live trading session because I broke this down earlier in the day. I said, right, I don't care what Apple does today. I just want to see a body candle close above this. Now, what do I want to see tomorrow? I mean, this was a big hold, right? This is very big. We tried to fill it. Buyer stepped up. Body of the candle closed above. We filled that gap. This is a big hold. This is a weekly level. So what do I want to see tomorrow? I want to see, right, a candle form right above this. Get that pullback long. That would be a really good entry targeting all-time highs, right? We're still in play here to all-time highs here on Apple. So a candle closure above this weekly, that was a very big hold. That is something that I really wanted to see today and we ended up getting that. Now, the game plan coming into today, if you watch the live trading session, you see it was on my close watch, right? Was a break and retest over this 247.30, right? Clear, good at that. Beautiful, right? Now, I always say the most important entry criteria to avoid fake outs on the break and retest is waiting for proper displacement. So all this candle is noise, right? We break above, but we never get proper displacement. Look what happens when we finally got proper displacement, right? Good breakout, body of the candle close above here, good displacement, retest, buyer step in. This is beautiful, right? Textbook break, retest, right? Price action cleared up later into the session. And I mean, this would have paid you. This went all the way up to high of day, right? Let's say you trail this bar, you never would have got stopped out. Let's say you use this first down close candle in an uptrend, which is now an order block, right? And you use this as your stop loss, never would have got stopped out. So if you enter down here, targeting the high of day, I mean, this paid you very well. There was pretty much no downside at all, right? Only a handful of down close candles. So that was beautiful if you took that today. Patience pays. That was a really good shot if you waited for that. Now, coming into tomorrow, right? Since we got that body of the candle closed, right? This is still the key level to play off of coming into tomorrow on Apple, right? A pullback long off of this, targeting the upside. Obviously, a break and retest over 253, targeting all-time highs, right? But I'm not really looking to short this name off of this now. It would be a valid short, right? Let's zoom out here on the daily, right? That would be a valid short. There's nothing in its way, but I would just prefer like going short after we fall under 241.30. I am now short buyers on Apple if we fall under this. Now, this is a weekly level. You can play either side, right? But tread carefully. We are still intact to the upside. The market is, all the tech names are. I'm not looking to short this name, right? So if we, today, this body of the candle closure over this was a really big hold, right? I want to see a body of the candle form above, get a pullback long, and we are still in play to upside. This would be a really good entry, right? Even for a possible swing trade if we get the buyers to step up here and defend this level. Lastly, Palantir, not really a name that I trade much, but I know a lot of people do. Be cautious on this thing. That's all I can say on Palantir, right? Just be cautious, right? You can see here, right? We did end up, trying to defend this 177.05. We still are intact technically to the upside on the higher time frame, but there's nothing going on here, right? So let's go to a naked chart. Just helps, right? I broke this down in yesterday's video, right? We consolidated, we got our leg higher. We consolidated, now we're waiting for our leg higher or leg lower, right? I am looking to short this name, right? Because you can see visually, this would be a lower low forming on the higher time frame if we fall under this 169, right? So I got a alert here, waiting to short under that. That is a very valid short, right? If you go here, right? I said yesterday, I'm open to going long, right? If we can get above this 188, right? I don't want to go long into all of this, right? As soon as we break over 184, there's just so many sellers sitting up here pushing this thing lower, right? So we are bullish technically, yes, on the higher time frame. We are intact, but it's just consolidating, right? Look at this. Does this look like something that's trending? You know, like I mean, this is nasty. You don't want to be in this, right? You want to avoid channels for a reason. So, right, valid short under 169. Valid long is waiting for the 188 break, targeting all-time highs and looking for continuation to the upside.